Hey everyone, welcome to the latest From the Desk video. Well, it's been an interesting couple of weeks since we last caught up. For many of you who have been following this series of videos, particularly since probably June when we're at the worst of the markets and interest rate fears were escalating, inflation fears were escalating. It's been interesting to see and go through the journey of the last 3 or 4 months and how things have played out. And there's really, I made a comment probably a couple of months ago. I said this is going to be a rocky road, and I've probably referred to the economy going along, and it's going along like it, and then suddenly at 100 kilometers an hour, a kangaroo comes across the road and it swerves one way and it overcorrects the other, and we're still snaking along the road trying to figure out where the straight line is. There is an element of that still going on, but some interesting things that have happened since we last caught up. First and foremost, last Thursday night was finally some signs of inflation data coming off the boil in the US. And we saw in one night, the US share market went up 4%. The inflation numbers started to ease off. And what's probably interesting there now, with their last 4 months, if you look at the month on month data since, so what's that? So August, September, October, now November. July, August, September, October has been, if you annualize those 4 months, inflation in the US is only about 2.7%. So we're starting to see that normalize, which is creating a lower need for interest rates to keep going up. So we saw all of the interest rate curves started to ease off, and the share markets reacted accordingly, which has bumped up a little bit. So that had a knock-on effect to Australia. Now interest rates, they could have peaked out at 2.85%, now the current rate level that we're at. There is some thought process we might see one more small rate rise. It's factored in maybe a rate rise, the top of the rate curve now being 3%. So I think that you'll see this now stabilise moving forward. It might stay at this rate while the RBA waits and sees how the economy plays out. I think that the early indications of the Christmas sales and retail sales are going to be quite weak. We're starting to see cracks in the employment market. So there's various things that are happening that are taking away a lot of the inflation fears, with a view that in 2023, 2024, that interest rates in Australia could come all the way back to sub 2%. And what's interesting in the US now, they're factoring in by 2025 that interest rates will have dropped from the current levels by 1.5%. Now, if they do that and we follow suit here in Australia, which I think we typically will, it means we're going to go back. That'll help the share market. It'll help underpin the property market. And it means people will be scrambling, looking for a return again in the next couple of years. All good signs for growth investors. So the other thing that's probably started to happen, which I flagged in the last video, is the banks are all making pretty good money, and the CBA result out today was pretty good, and the shares are back to basically record high levels. So the banking system in Australia is all in good shape. Like some of the rain to go away for the farming community and for those along the river. But all in all, the Australian economy looks like we're going to dodge a recession. It's in pretty good shape, and we may have seen the last of the rate rises. So we'll see how we go. But today it's probably a slightly better spring in my step. Things are showing some signs of life again, and I'm certainly looking forward to a better 2023. I look forward to catching up with you before Christmas, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks.